This is the pre-intro. If you are only interested in one team's side of this trade, go to my channel or go to the description. I'm going to link each video for each team. They're short videos. This is a long video. This is my entire thoughts on absolutely everything from the front office, rationale behind the trade, long-term outlook, playoff outlook, everything. This is everything. So this is only for real NBA heads. If you want short condensed shit, look in the description, okay, guys? Description, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Real intro starts now, alright? Take care. Yo. What up, guys? You know what it is? Just a weeb here. Just kidding. Kinda. Um. Before I get into the 80 Luka trade, I just wanted to say thank you very much to everybody who's been watching my stuff, giving me a fair chance. Especially thank you to the people leaving comments, whether you disagree with me or not. If you are leaving a comment of value, I really appreciate you. Of course, the people liking my stuff, I appreciate you. And then my haters, the people disliking my shit, thank you. I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to at least give me a shot. Even if it's a short shot, I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. And I'm going to get into it now. Alright, guys. So, I'm sure you guys all know, what this shit was for. So, that's not my thing. I'm not a fucking reporter. This was weird, though. Seeing this come out of nowhere, especially with the timing, it's a weird trade. That's the least that can be said about this. So, this comment I thought was really funny. This is just what showed up as the top one, as you can see. Just whatever. This, I do want to address this. So, McMahon, who is the Mavs GM, something like that. He's in the front office or ownership. Says, we, the Mavs, had concerns moving forward with Luka Doncic due to conditioning issues, looming commitment of Supermax extension. Only full screen. That's pretty insane, okay? It's just, these business people and stuff, they shouldn't be making these decisions. And I think Mark Cuban did sell the team, or the majority of it, right, guys? I don't think he would ever, ever, ever go for this. Oh, wow. And, I think this is one of the dumbest things I've ever read related to the NBA. If you guys go look at my tier list, you'll see Luka Doncic is the only injured player that I have ranked highly. There's a reason for that. The man is on another level. The year that... Oh, let me recenter. The year that the Joker won the MVP after M. Fraud stole his three-peat, Luka was the MVP of the league. Clear as day. No argument can be made. Luka was the fucking MVP. Luka was scammed because these assholes threw Jokic, he's only won one championship. Actually, he might not have won a championship at this point, but they're like, not enough rings. He can't be the first player to ever three-peat as MVP. Insane fucking world. But that is legit why the MVP voters did not give Jokic the MVP that year and gave it to Embiid. So what happened the next year, Jokic was not the MVP. Jokic. I don't get mad at my pronunciation if you want to. I'm not here for that. Luka was the MVP of the league that year. No question. He was dominant. I'm pretty sure that was the year he nearly KO'd Steph and them, or somebody. He nearly knocked a team out that they had no business knocking out. Was it the Warriors, guys? Maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was the Warriors. But I digress. That's the truth of the matter. Luka was the MVP. To say the MVP of the league just a couple years ago, you are not going to give a supermax to because you are worried about conditioning is insane. Truly insane. They gave away a once in a generation player, in my opinion. Luka is that good. He is, man. The dude is just, I don't even know how to describe him. He's like Melo in that he just is different than everybody else. And you know, Joker is like that too. He's different than everybody else. But there are very few players in the league that are like that. Anthony Davis was once like that. And listen to my words, once like that. He has not been like that since he was with Boogie Cousins in New Orleans playing the 4. And I do think he will play the 4 again with Dallas, but that's for a later chapter, okay? Let me stay focused on Luka and the Mavs. So the Mavs are giving up an MVP caliber player. And what are they getting back? A Disney, who is usually, what is he, guys? Injured. Injury prone at the very least, okay? But it's crazy to say conditioning is the reason for this. What, I don't even know what that means. Let me look up Luka's minutes per game real quick. Bro, they fucked my boy Luka. They fucked him up with this picture. They made him fat as hell. What the fuck? But 36 minutes per game. Bro, how are you concerned about his conditioning? We can't see minutes like this. Okay, let me find a different site. Okay, just kidding. We can see minutes. This is the game he got injured in. 30, 38, 40, 38, 32, 40, 36, 30, 28, 38. And the reason he's getting so few minutes here, you guys can see the score. It's a fucking blowout. Bro. Okay, so I'm going to average out these games. Okay, if you guys don't know, Google Sheets, any type of spreadsheet, doing something like this is really OP. And then all I'm going to do now is type in the minutes he's played in close games, okay? And it will create an average for you. To do this otherwise, you add all the numbers up and then divide by however many numbers you put in, okay? So it's really easy, and this is good to know, okay? If you're gambling or anything like that, just in life in general, it's good to know. Oops. So, in 10 games that were close, the last 10 games Luka Doncic has played, he has averaged 40 minutes per game. How can the GM say, I'm doing this, how can the GM say this is about conditioning? How? Just stop, man. Stop with the lies. Stop with the bullshit. And I say all of this to tell you guys the reason that the Mavericks traded away Luka Doncic is because they're not going to pay him the supermax. It's really that simple. It is really that simple. So right here, you guys can see Luka was in line to receive a 5-year, 345, nearly 70 mil a year. But because of the trade, he is no longer eligible for the supermax. It's a lot of money. Luka Doncic is worth it. There's no question. Nobody in the world can say Luka Doncic is not worth 345 million over 5 years. He is worth that and then some. You can put so many pieces that make no sense together and just slap Luka in there and say, hey, Luka, go make it work, and he will. He is that special of a player. And then if we really want to say it's about conditioning, how are you going to say Anthony Davis is better? But right here, we are going to say, here, I'm just going to read it off. The Mavericks were motivated to move Doncic because of his Constant conditioning concerns, sources told McMahon. There had been significant frustration within the organization about Doncic's lack of discipline regarding his diet and conditioning, which team sources consider a major factor in his injury issues. What can any of us do but laugh at that? So now you guys know I love making decisions based on reality. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to compare how many games Luka Doncic has played and how many games Anthony Davis has played. Oh, okay, and yes, the seasons aren't going to match up. That shouldn't matter. You guys can obviously see Luka has played many more games than Anthony Davis. And just to illustrate my point fully, so this is not excluded. This is excluding the current season, 326, and I do believe no regular season. Okay, still 326. Let's go to Luka, 422, played 22 this season. Okay, so 422 minus 22 is 400. So 400 minus 326 is 74. Luka, in the same time period since Luka has been in the league, excluding this season, Luka has played 74 more games than Anthony Davis. 74. Let me write that down. Oh, Jesus Christ. 74. 74. Basically an entire extra season. And the GM, the front office is going to tell you that it's because of conditioning. Bullshit. Straight up bullshit. So, okay, I do want to read this. It's basically saying here, when yeah, his weight was in the high 260s in the early season, which is very high. However, I do not think it affected his play in any way, shape, or form. They're winning. They lost to Minnesota. They lost to Phoenix. They lost to the Rockets. All very good teams. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Yeah, he had some bad shooting games. That happens to start the season especially. And then we go up, and he's absolutely balling. The very next month, within barely over a week, 9 days, 10 days, 9 days, 10 days, he's averaging 29, 7, 8.6, 1.9 steals, which is way above his average, I do believe, of his career. And his shooting percentages are not bad. You have to understand this is on high volume, 10 shots. So could be better, of course. Free throw percentage is much better compared to previous years. True shooting is alright. And all players, take time to get going. And then we see in December, Buddy is absolutely fucking balling. Absolutely. 50, 40. Okay. 74, fine for Luka. He obviously free throw shooting should be improved, but it was better. It was constantly getting better, and his free throw shot just looked better. But 65% true shooting percentage, okay? So obviously he's getting in game shape. And really, if you talk to any athlete, they'll tell you the only way to get in game shape is by playing real games. Do I think Luka should have been 260? No. Especially if his actual playing weight is 230. Do I think it made them lose any games? Hell no. I don't think it was a problem at all. Do I think it contributed to injury? More than likely not. So you have to consider if his playing weight is 230 and he's 260, it's like a 50 15% increase, there's going to be some muscle gain as well. That isn't the craziest thing. I also am very curious. See, like, we really, as fans, we can't trust these numbers. Luka actually might be 6'7". There are so many people listed as 6'7" that are not. They're just not, okay? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. I just think that's complete bullshit. I think it's a cop out. I think the main and only reason that Luka was traded was simply due to his looming supermax, and I also do think Luka was going to opt out of his contract. You may ask, why would Luka opt out? Dude, do you guys really think the Dallas Mavericks are competing for anything with the team they have right now? If you do, please tell me why. Tell me the rationale behind that, because what I see is a bunch of good regular season performers that when teams really take it to the next level and things get real, every everything is going to have reason behind it. Everything is going to be, I wouldn't say planned, but there is a plan in place. People aren't just going to be free balling. People aren't just going to be solo balling. Everything is going to be scheduled pretty much. Dude, people are going to take advantage of Kyrie. They're going to take advantage of an old Clay. I don't even know. PJ is a great player, you know, and he's a very versatile player. That helps them in the playoffs. That still leaves Luka and Daniel Gafford. I don't know if he's even ever played in the playoffs. He's having an excellent regular season, but he even has his downfalls too. He's a really bad free throw shooter. He can't space the floor, and teams will really start punishing that. Also, teams will make sure they bring him out of the paint, so he's not going to be able to protect the paint as well. I just, there are way too many holes that are easily exploitable that I just do not think the Mavericks have a realistic chance of ever winning a championship with this roster construction. If they were to win, it would require every single player more often than not, you know, at least 4 out of 7 times playing their best ball. And you can't count on that. You can't. You just can't. And also, they have one true defensive stopper on that team in PJ for... He's like Keegan Murray, you know? Very good, very versatile, quick, very, very agile for his size. However, what happens when Shea gets on him? What happens when even De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, bro, like what are these guys gonna do versus him? It ain't gonna be pretty. Let me tell you that. So that means Clay either has to come out, Kyrie has to come out, or Luka comes out. And you know, Clay you can make a case for, but who are they gonna put in? Quentin Grimes? Dude, Quentin Grimes was playing very good. His game has improved greatly. He is not a good defender by any means, especially when we're talking playoff ball. When we're talking guarding the other team's best player. That is just not going to work. And it's funny because in one of these, oops. Yeah, right here. The Mavs GM says, I believe that defense wins championships. And who do you have on your team exactly? What defensive stoppers do you have on your team? PJ? AD when he's healthy, for sure. Well, kinda. He's not the same as he was. Let's just say that. AD used to be scary. When anytime you were coming into the paint against AD, scary. He's not the same anymore. Is he a great defender still? Yes, very good. Especially for his size. With his capabilities as a agile big man, he's a great defender. He's not that guy anymore. Gafford is much closer to that guy, a paint defender, than Anthony Davis is at this point in his career. So I'm very curious how Dinwiddie and old Klay Thompson, Ky- Kyrie Irving, PJ Washington, Quentin Grimes, and AD at the 4 with Daniel Gafford and you guys know the other center who's injured right now. How is that team going to work? What defense are they going to be playing? And that's the thing that gets me because they're really. I'm not sure Gafford and Anthony Davis can play at the same time. I think offensively it would be fine. Defensively, I just don't know. Especially with the league is with how many threes people shoot and how athletic people are. Especially considering how many good passing bigs there are in the game and the West right now. I'm not sure about this. It's crazy. But I want to read this last quote. The GM says, I believe that getting an all defensive center and an all NBA player with a defensive mindset gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future. Daniel Gafford is an all NBA defensive center. He might be an all NBA third team player right now for this season. How is that going to work with Anthony Davis? You're sending your all defensive center right now to the bench who's playing out of his mind. Literally one of the best players in the league right now. For Anthony Davis, who really has not shown that level. All NBA defense. I don't know if Anthony Davis has been that with the Lakers. Maybe. I just don't. I don't think he hasn't shown me that. He hasn't. There hasn't been a single time since he's been with the Lakers. And it just makes even less sense. And then we think about the offensive side of the ball. How the fuck is this going to work? You're giving away Luka, who shoots 10 threes a game. And you're bringing Anthony Davis in, who is not a good three-point shooter. Let's be real. You're taking out one of the best distributors in the game. One of the best ball carriers in the game. Somebody who deals with double teams very well. Somebody that has so much gravity. And you're bringing in somebody who really you want him handling the ball in certain areas, in certain scenarios, and that's it. He can't run the pick and roll. Hell fucking no. Anthony Davis is not. No. I don't even know if I would say he's a good passing big anymore. He's like a little above average. That's how much the league has changed since he's been in there. Also, he just doesn't play like that anymore. It doesn't make sense to me, guys. And that brings me to the projected lineups for both teams. So, I do think the Lakers side is probably right. Although I could see them making Rui the sixth man and bringing in DFS for even more defense. This is completely wrong. So, it's either going to be one of these two starting at the 2. And then either Grimes. Okay, so ESPN, this is what I think their best lineup is going to be. And yes, playing Anthony Davis at the 4. A combination of Gafford and the young guy. I don't know why I can't remember his name, but he's injured right now. You guys know who I'm talking about. At the 5. And PJ at the 3. And then, yeah, the guards are just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're just going to rotate these 6 guards. It's going to be a hot hand approach. PJ is primarily going to get minutes at the 3, followed by Najee. And that's it. PJ probably will play some 4s, same as Najee. And that's it. And that's really scary in today's NBA because you are counting on an old Klay Thompson to shoot a lot of threes and make a lot of threes with very little shot creation. Spencer Dinwiddie is by far the best shot creators for others by far. And Agazum is number 2 behind him, followed by Najee Marshall. And then maybe Kyrie. Kyrie really doesn't create for others. Creating for himself opens up creation for others. It's entirely different. Same effect, they get assists. Kyrie doesn't. I don't consider Kyrie an assist guy, but he can get assists depending on the matchups and stuff. Come playoff time, you cannot rely on Kyrie creating for others. Relying on Spencer Dinwiddie is scary. He's been playing very well, and I think very highly of Dinwiddie. However, when we're talking about chasing a championship, which the Mavs obviously are, the GM says getting Anthony Davis makes them championship competitors, and it just doesn't. They are worse off with this team than with Luka. And also, you guys got to remember, this is an older Anthony Davis. When he played the 4 and with the Pelicans, he was young. He was much more agile. He was leaner. He's been playing true center with the Lakers for the last year or two at least. So I find this very, 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 very questionable. And again, let's talk about the spacing. Kyrie, you want him playing mid and mainly close. Spencer Dinwiddie can't shoot threes. He can shoot threes. Not ideal. And he's a hot 3 guy. If he's not hot, you do not want him shooting threes. Grimes, pretty good 3-point shooter. Really good. Christie, good to really good 3-point shooter. Klay Thompson, streaky, but as long as he's taking good shots, he's a good 3-point shooter. PJ, who I do expect to be here, and I do expect Klay to start here, and then PJ at the 3. PJ can shoot threes again. He's streaky. AD, I don't want AD shooting threes. So you're relying on old Klay Thompson and PJ to space the floor. These two, they want to do the same things. You guys know how the Cavs have struggled so much until this season, until Evan Mobley took that next step. They had the same issue. Mobley and Jared Allen wanted to do the same things. Now Mobley has really, his potential is showing. He's capable of handling. He's capable of playing mid-range. He's been shooting a really good 3-point shot. He's very agile, very quick, very athletic, like Anthony Davis was when he was younger. I don't see this working out, guys. They have a ton of length, especially playing PJ at the 3. That is some real length. However, what NBA are we in 2025? The point era. 3-point era. People are spamming threes. And again, old Klay Thompson is going to be your defensive stopper for guards. PJ, same as Keegan Murray. He's going to have the exact same struggles versus agile guards. That's just the reality of it. And I think this was a really bad trade for the Mavs, and I think their front office and ownership just didn't want to pay Luka. That is my analysis of this. This doesn't make sense at all. And the conditioning thing makes no sense, as we've shown in the same sample size before this year since Luka was in the league. Luka has played 72 more games than Anthony Davis. You can't say you're gaining a less injury prone player or a player where they're really availability is what they should say, not conditioning. Availability. And we all know Anthony Davis constantly is unavailable. It is his MO. It's just who he is. And that's fine. Like, dude, people get injured, especially when you're a big man like AD who plays very, very athletically. Injuries are going to happen. It's just part of it. But that is just a straight up lie, in my opinion, from the Mavs front office. And it's the Supermax. That's the real reason. Also, I want to say this is weird, really weird to me. LeBron, AD, or Luka not knowing. AD and Luka not knowing, I can understand. The LeBron not knowing is pretty crazy. And for you guys saying lay GM, I mean, this is obvious proof he's not, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, LeBron has influence to say he wants some players, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. Oof, oof, oof. Also, the draft compensation, like I was saying, there's no real future. Like, the Mavs aren't loading up for the future, and they're worse than the present. Getting this Lakers 2029 first, they're going to be good there. Okay? They're going to have Luka still. They're going to be good. It's not going to be a good pick. The Lakers, at one point, their picks were very valuable because after LeBron left, people assumed AD would leave, and they would kind of be fucked besides free agents, and it probably would have gone bad, like Luol Deng on the Lakers type shit. But this pick isn't that valuable. Luka's gonna be there, and I do agree. Defense wins championships, as the Mavs GM said. Playing Daniel Gafford and old Anthony Davis, PJ Washington, and old Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving, that is not a strong defensive team. Not at all. Especially when you start thinking about the synergy of those guys and what they're weak to. And they're weak to athletic guards and 3 point shooting. What does the league have an abundance of? Athletic guards and 3 point shooting. I don't know, guys. I really, I'm still a bit in shock because it just makes less and less sense to me as time goes by. You know, initially I was like thinking, oh yeah, the Mavs, they're gonna be able to play AD at the four, which he wants to, and I agree. If this was Pelicans AD or right after he was on the Pelicans, like those 2 years after, yeah, fuck yeah, that would be pretty dominant, dude. We are how many years removed from that? 5 or 6. He's not the same player. He's not young anymore. He doesn't move the same. I don't think playing him at the four in the modern NBA is going to work. And here's further proof. So, J Dub, Chet, Shea, Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, Triple J, Marcus Smart, bro, Houston Rockets, oh my, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Sengun, Nuggies. You guys know who the Nuggies got. Lakers. Now Luka, Reeves, LeBron. Oh my god. I have no idea how the Mavericks are going to deal with them. Luka, Reeves, and LeBron. Who is going to stop any of those players on the Mavs now? Like, PJ is okay against Luka. He's not going to be able to stop him. Who's going to guard LeBron then? Clay? Come on now. Clippers, not even going to say. The Dallas Mavericks would work really well against the Clippers. Really, really well. Timberwolves. Ant-Man. Julius Randle. DiVincenzo. Bro. No chance. Phoenix Suns, Booker, KD. And they are going to get somebody else too. Also, their 3 point shooting, really good. I don't think the Mavs have any chance against them. Kings, absolutely no chance. Two of the most athletic guards in the league, and Swipa and De'Aaron. Incredible 3 point shooters all around. No chance. The Warriors, yeah, the Mavs will do very good against the Warriors. Well, that is, yeah, they will. They're gonna. I don't know what they would do against Steph. Steph would have to have a monster performance. Actually, no. You know the Warriors will give them trouble because I always forget about Wiggins for some reason on the Warriors, but he's been playing really well, especially recently, and he plays his role, and that's all you can ask for anybody. Wiggins has really developed into a good player, very good player. I've been very impressed with him. But yeah, Wiggins, Kaminga, oh my God, Draymond, Steph, Pods, holy shit. And I feel like I'm forgetting a couple people on the Warriors too, but I mean, who is going to deal with those guys? Kaminga, yeah, I was thinking, yeah, Kaminga is going to get dealt with. They're just going to throw PJ on him. Who the fuck is going to deal with Wiggins then? Nobody. You want AD on the perimeter dealing with Wiggins? He's going to get cooked at this point in his career. Spurs. Spurs will probably wipe the floor with the Mavericks at this point. I didn't know the Spurs had lost so many games. Damn. What the fuck has been going on with them? Trailblazers. I think they would absolutely wipe the floor with the Mavericks. If they keep playing like they are now, oh my, the Mavericks have no chance. Pelicans. Get Zion's ass out of there. The Pelicans are beating the Mavericks in a best of 7. For sure. For sure. That does assume their health, and that is a big assumption. So, you can say, yeah, the Mavs have the advantage. I won't hate that. The Jazz might tanking. They're tanking for sure. God, the Pelicans are fucking horrible. Let's look at the Eastern Conference. Absolutely no chance versus the Cavs. No chance versus the Celtics. You're telling me AD is going to have to guard Tatum? And then Drew Holiday, D. White, Porzingis. Oh my, the Celtics are a disaster matchup for the Mavs. Absolute disaster. Knicks, same thing. Oh my god. No chance against the Knicks. Pacers. I think the Pacers would dominate them. Maybe not dominate. I think it would be like a 4-2 series for the Pacers. Pretty easy. Especially if they have home court advantage. Pretty easy for them. The Bucks. I'm not a big fan of the Bucks. I would not bet on the Bucks against the Mavericks in his best of 7. So let's just say if the Bucks played their best basketball and they learned how to play with each other, mainly lame time. Yeah, the Bucks will beat them for sure. For sure. AD would have to deal with Giannis. Daniel Gafford is going to be taken out of the paint to deal with Brolo from 3. And then you have Middleton and Lame Time and probably Andre Jackson Jr. and Torian Prince. Both posing, one is a 3-point threat, the other is going to be locking down Kyrie. Trying to lock down Kyrie, doing his best. He will be a pest. Obviously, Kyrie is very good, but the Bucks probably would do pretty good there. Now that I'm thinking about it, Miami Heat absolutely dominate this Mavs team. Khalil Ware and Bam. Khalil Ware, same thing that broke Lopez, except better. He's gonna pull Gafford out to make him deal with him for 3, and then Bam versus AD is interesting. I think that would be a very fun matchup. Pretty even, but then you throw Tyler Hero in there, and you throw in just how the Heat play with so much off-ball movement and complexity. It's really going to put a lot of pressure on both Kyrie and Dinwiddie as ball carriers, and that's too much to ask. Again, like, you're now putting Kyrie in a position to fail. Instead of Kyrie doing what Kyrie does best, Kyrie is having to be a facilitator. And he can. Like I said, Kyrie is perfectly fine at doing that. It's not what he's best at. And when you're talking about NBA championship, every player needs to be doing what they're best at. And they need to be fulfilling that role. Pistons probably would dominate. That would be a good series, actually. I don't want to say anything for sure. That would be a really good series. Magic, dude, I don't even want to talk about the Magic. Fuck them. But the Magic, if Paolo ever gets his head out of his fucking asshole, the Magic would win that. 80 would have to guard Paolo, and not gonna work. Not gonna work at all at this point in 80's career. The Hawks, absolutely not going to work. Absolutely not. Hawks will dominate. Jalen Johnson, too good of a shooter from all around. DeAndre Hunter comes in. PJ Washington has to guard one of those two. You have Dyson Daniels to stop Kyrie. You're putting a lot of pressure on the others on this team. Not good. Not good at all for the Mavericks. Double O, again, can pull out 80. 80 or Gafford, whoever decides to guard him. So you're moving their rim protector. Yeah, the ATL Hawks can just dictate the entire series, the entire game, because they have advantages everywhere that the Mavs just can't really deal with. So that's scary. The Bulls, of course, the Mavs will beat the Bulls. The Sixers, if they're at full strength, they don't have a single person that can guard Maxey. PJ can somewhat guard Paul George, but if Paul George is healthy for a 7 game series, he's gonna get his multiple times versus PJ. He's just such a good player. He know his. I don't think people realize how intelligent Paul George is, especially on the basketball court. He knows how to get perfectly open. You know, even if when his athleticism diminishes a little bit, he's gonna be able to play still. He's such a good shooter, and he's just so heady. He knows how to get the space to get his shot off. And then you have Embiid, probably gonna get both AD and Gafford in foul trouble because that's just what Embiid does. That's a really tough matchup for the Mavs. The Nets, who knows? You know, they have some really athletic guys. They're excellent at defense. Again, so putting a ton of pressure on all the ball carriers, on everybody getting a good shot on the Mavs. It would probably be a 2-4 series, if not a 3-4, in favor of the Mavs winning. But still, it would be scary. It would be close. The Raptors, only God knows. But if they ever fucking again get their heads out of their ass and start playing team ball, they will beat the Mavs in best of 7. If the Hornets have B. Millie and LaMelo, they are beating the Mavs in a best of 7. No question. Absolutely no fucking question. Especially with Charles Lee at the head coach. Dude. Yeah. Hornets for sure. Wizards, of course, have absolutely no chance versus anybody in a best of 7. But, wow. After going through this, the Mavericks have really messed up. Really messed up. Especially when playoff time comes, you guys. So much pressure is going to be on Dinwiddie, Kyrie, Exum to create. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad, guys. It's going to be really, 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 really bad for them. And I think this will go down in NBA history as one of the worst trades ever. Like, the Mavericks have been completely fleeced. It is horrible. Whew. That was a lot. I had a lot more to say than I thought. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, just type the number 2, please, so I can thank you. I really appreciate everybody who gives my content a shot. If you're actually listening to me through this whole shit, seriously, thank you. And I really hope that I have shined at least a new perspective on what you think about basketball. Fuck it, I'll say it on this video. If you guys don't know, because I don't talk about it, but I am a very good basketball mind in the sense of both daily fantasy sports and just straight up sports gambling. Yeah. Okay? And I don't like throwing that around because it's stupid. However, that is the only acumen I can say. And from that acumen, I am in the top 0.000000000000001%. I am one of the best basketball gamblers on the planet. So, that is why you should listen to me. At the very least, that is why you shouldn't listen to me. Let me X that. X. Never listen to a single person. Use your own brain. That is why you should consider my perspective and add it to your own and think what makes sense that I'm telling you, what is truthful that I'm telling you, how does that change things in your own mind. That is what you should do, okay? And that is why. Will I give you gambling advice? Hell no. Gambling is horrible. Gambling ruins people's lives. I wish I could just talk about gambling and be like, hey, here's my picks for today, guys. Let's do good. And if people were responsible, if gambling didn't have the potential to ruin people's lives like it does, I would be 100% cool with that. And I would be giving out my picks every day. It's not, though. And I know people's lives will be ruined by me talking about gambling. That's why I don't at all. And I won't. When the playoffs come around, I will talk about who's going to win a series and how many games and shit like that. I'm never going to talk about spreads. I'm never going to talk about money line, parlays, any of that shit. I might talk about like, oh yeah, this player, I really think they're going to pop off. But that's about the greatest extent you're going to get from me. Don't gamble, guys. If you do gamble, like I tell you in my videos, only gamble what you're willing to lose, and anytime you place a wager, expect that it's going to be a loss. That is how you have to gamble. That is the only way to gamble on sports. If you ever expect a return on anything you gamble, you are, to be honest, you're probably going to ruin your life. Okay? So please do not gamble. Please, 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 please. And if you do, set limits, track everything you do. Track your wins, track your losses. Never, ever, ever, ever put any money into any casino, any sports book, anything that you are not willing to lose that involves gambling. Especially daily fantasy sports is gambling too, you guys, okay? I've actually, fuck it, I'll talk about it a little bit. I've never won a big DFS tournament, the 150 multi entries. I've won several single entries, several. I've never been able to in a place financially where I could wager fucking $1,000 something. Bro, hell no, hell the fuck no. In a single night, you have to be some type of psychopath. And you see all these people using basically the same projections, and yeah, it's safer. It's not legit, guys. You are going to lose your money if you do that shit, and please don't. One of my best friends, gambling fucked his shit up. That's all I'm gonna say. And it was daily fantasy sports too. Okay, so I know there is more. Technically, there is more skill involved in DFS. However, if you really know it and if you're playing in any contest that is more than one entry and you're not maxing out your entries, you're dumb and you need to stop, because you are at a huge disadvantage versus the whales that have been in this shit since the early 2000s, that have tons of money from both sponsorships and running their own shit. That is how they're making money. That is how they can throw away thousands of dollars and not care. They aren't me. They aren't you. They aren't normal people, guys, okay? So, just don't gamble. Please. Please do not gamble. What I do with my money to ensure I will be able to retire is my own self. This is not financial advice. Index funds and retirement funds. Okay? Do your own research. Find out what's best for you. Personally, I believe in the United States, so I just roll with the S&P 500. Is that smart to all in on that? No. No and yes, okay? I'm not looking for immediate returns. I know I have time. And the way I think about it, if the U.S. fucking goes under, I'm fucked, okay? So it doesn't fucking matter, alright? So that's my thinking. I don't look into stocks. I don't do any of that shit, guys. And you shouldn't either. Or you should research what a good retirement portfolio looks like, and you should do that, okay? And honestly, you should talk to a financial advisor. These big firms have them. So just set up an appointment and talk to them, okay, guys? Just realized my sock was on backwards. That is, I don't talk too much about myself in these videos. I just don't feel like I feel like it hasn't been the right time. And I feel like on a long video like this, if you listen to me to this point, you're somebody that I want to talk like this with, to let you into my life, like this. But yeah, and if you guys see, dude, anytime like I'm upset at games or anything, it's at max for like 5 or 10 minutes, and it's usually not because I have money on it. In fact, most of the time I'm upset. It's just because it's dumbass shit that I continuously see that doesn't get corrected, and that shit pisses me the fuck off because it ruins my experience. I do not enjoy watching that shit. When idiots are fucking shit up over and over and over and over and over, and it's the exact same thing, that ruins my watching experience, okay? And I'm sure you guys can see just with how I was there. That shit is what bothers me. I don't again, I practice what I preach with this game. Like, I never have once. Well, okay. I used to play DFS for a living for a matter of months. Very dumb. That was the most stressful time of my life. And again, that's just another reason why you should not gamble. Dude, if your bills are relied on you playing DFS, you're in a bad spot. And I was once in that bad spot. And it was before and during COVID, right before COVID and during COVID. Ugh. Disaster in my life. But it's extremely stressful. And when you lose that shit, like, it's like getting stabbed in the heart. And guess what? You won't feel better until you start making money. And guess what that forces you to do? Wager more. That is the deadly cycle of gambling. So be careful, guys. Gamble for fun. Again, never, ever, ever wager anything you cannot afford to lose. Okay? And also, anytime you wager, consider that money is spent. You're not getting that money back. You need to understand that. You need to know that. Yeah, again, drop the number 2. Okay, so if you made it this far, drop the number 2 and put put CCC. Yeah, put 2 and then 3 C's, okay? I want to know. And I would like to thank you. I know I have some lurkers is what I would say, but you guys just don't comment. But I see you guys liking my shit, and I really, 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 really appreciate you. And I hope you're starting to see things in a little bit different way because, I'm putting everything out there. Everything. What these teams are doing right and wrong. What's good and bad basketball. And I really do hope that in the end, it's going to help basketball start being better as a whole. And I think this year we're having a great year of basketball. And I'm so thankful for that because I didn't know if I was going to be able to watch basketball this year because the refs were just so bad last year. Last year, more than anything, it didn't matter how you played. It mattered who the refs were and how they were calling the game, which that is not basketball. That is fucking loot. That is, I don't even know what to call that shit, but it is something I will refuse to watch. So that's that. Thank you again. If you're not going to comment, just thank you, man. No, I'm truly grateful that you're giving me the time of day. And I really do hope this is something I can do. I would love to do this. If this takes off, I definitely will be making other channels. I do have a fitness channel in the works. I have 2 other channels. One where I just like yap and react. And then another one where my other greatest passion, I'm doing that. And I just started that one. But if you guys are interested in those, let me know. Probably want to DM you those because I still have a lot of weirdos that come on this channel, just through shorts feed. It's how shit is. It is what it is, man. I'm not talking about people that disagree with me. There are some real weirdos that type some really weird shit on my stuff. It made me stop looking at comments for a long time, like almost a month. And then I was just like, nah, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I want to see the people that are being positive to me. I want to talk with my people too. So people that are being really weird like that, I just literally hide them from my channel. So you won't see any of their comments, but just know there's some really, really weird people that come around here. And yeah, okay, my final outro. Thank you guys. Take care. Live life to the fullest. Make sure you are living your own life. We only have one life. You need to decide for yourself what your best life is, what your best day is, what your best action is, what your best plan is at the very best moment for you and nobody else. You. Peace out.